Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya. Okay, we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Jaya. And we will read from Adilila, chapter 10, starting from text 161. Then we will finish this chapter.
160 to 164, right?
161, I heard. Till 64, we finish this chapter. We go over to chapter 11, and I will read a short summary and text 1, and stop at text 7, where there's a purport. So I'll read everything by myself, and then we can take text 7 in the next chapter together. Sakala bhariya ache prema phula phale Basaila Trijagat Krishna Prema Jole. Every branch and sub-branch of the tree is full of innumerable fruits and flowers. They inundate the world with the waters of love of Krishna. Eka Eka Shakar Shakti Ananta Mahima Sahasra Vadane Yara Dite Naresima. Each and every branch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees has unlimited spiritual power and glory. Even if one had thousands of mouths, it would be impossible to describe the limits of their activities. Sankshepe Kail Mahaprabhura Bhaktagana Samagra Balite Nare Sahasravadana. I have briefly described the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in different places. Even Lord Shesha, who has thousands of mouths, could not list them all. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padayara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, 10th chapter, in the matter of the main trunk of the Chaitanya tree, its branches and its sub-branches. Chapter 11. The expansions of Lord Nityananda. As the branches and sub-branches of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were described in the 10th chapter, in this 11th chapter, the branches and sub-branches of Sri Nityananda Prabhu are similarly listed. Text 1. Nityananda Padam Bhoja Brigan Prema Madhun Madan Natva Kilanteshu Mukya Likyante Katichin Maya. After offering my obeisances unto all the devotees of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who are like bumblebees collecting honey from his lotus feet, I shall try to describe those who are the most prominent. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Tanhara Charana Shrita Ye Sedhanya. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who has taken shelter at his lotus feet is glorious. Jaya Jaya Sri Advaita Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Sarva Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tasya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sapremamara Shakina Urdva Skandhava Dutendo Shakarupan Gananuma. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the topmost branch of the indestructible tree of eternal love Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the sub-branches of that topmost branch. Sri Nityananda Vrikshera Skanda Gurutara Tahade Janmila Shaka Prashaka Vistara. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is an extremely heavy branch of the Sri Chaitanya tree. From that branch grow many branches and sub-branches. Malakarera Icha Jale Bhade Shakagana Prema Pula Pare Fale Bari Chaila Bhuvana. Watered by the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these branches and sub-branches have grown unlimitedly and covered the entire world with fruits and flowers. Yeah, text 7 together. Asankhya Anant Gana Ke Karuganan.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
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 Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Mukya Jana.
Asankhya Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Asankhya
Ananta Gana Ke Karuganana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Apana Shodite Kahi Mukya Jana.
Asankhya,
Asankhya,
innumerable.
innumerable.
Ananta,
Ananta,
unlimited.
unlimited.
Gana,
Gana,
devotees.
devotees.
Ke,
Ke,
who.
who,
Karu,
Karu,
can.
can,
Garnana,
Ganana,
count.
count.
Apana,
Apana,
the self.
self.
Shodhite,
Shodhite,
to purify.
to purify.
Kahi,
Kahi,
I speak.
I speak.
Mukya,
Mukya,
only the chief.
under the sea.
Jana,
Jana,
persons.
person.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. These branches and sub-branches of devotees are innumerable and unlimited. Who could count them? For my personal purification, I shall try to enumerate only the most prominent among them. Purport. One should not write books or essays on transcendental subject matter for material name, fame, or profit. Transcendental literature must be written under the direction of a superior authority, because it is not meant for material purposes. If one tries to write under superior authority, he becomes purified. All Krishna conscious activities should be undertaken for personal purification. Apana shuddhite, not for material gain. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Gananjana Shalakya Chakshudin Militam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sarigavatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Prajana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakavatamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vishnava Sute Devi Namami Haripriya Manchata Kripa Sindhu Eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastaja Desha Tarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Asankya Ananta Gana Ke Karunganana Apana Shurite Kahi Mukya Mukya Jana. These branches and sub-branches of devotees are innumerable and unlimited. Who could count them? For my personal purification I shall try to enumerate only the most prominent among them. And he will. In the next shloka mentioned Virabhadra Goswami, which is the greatest branch. And so in this chapter, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will mention all these branches and sub-branches and glorify these devotees to the best of his ability by the mercy of Rupa Raghunath, which is proper. As we see in this purport, it must be under the supervision of an authority, and it should be done for one's own purification and not for material name, fame or profit. Very, very important, because there's so many books being written both on spiritual matters and material matters, which are not under any guidance. Especially mundane literature is made for the purpose of name, fame, and profit. Even if this author may not say it themselves, but whatever motive there is behind these books, it's not for purification. That's for sure. They will get material reaction for their books, and whoever reads these books cannot be purified either. They all become absorbed in whatever they read, no matter what genre. And they may praise it as much as they want, but it is a useless waste of time. Harry Potter is a useless waste of time. The Lord of the Rings is a useless waste of time. All Stephen King books, even if they have scared so many people, is a useless waste of time. I know one here has probably never heard of him. It is no loss. These books are all a wasteless use of time. I remember Shivaram Maharaj. He was sitting with a group of Indian youths, and they all had their questions they wanted to present to Maharaj, which was coming from both themselves and others. And there in that discussion, Shivaram Maharaj said that yes, Harry Potter is a useless waste of time, and some were not happy about that, but that is true, because these books are just entangling people more into this material world, and making this material world seem more, what words to use, seem more interesting than it actually is. If you have to write books like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings to entice people and make them think about something else, make them escape from this world, well, that pretty much tells that this world is not actually a nice place to be. Why do you need to write fantasy literature to help people get away from this world? Why don't you teach the people how to cope with this world? Sure, we also read books to escape reality, but we don't actually escape reality, since we're reading books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which has all to do with reality and how to live in it and how to cope with it and how to deal with the obstacles, how to deal with relationships, and how to know our place in this world. We are very, very small, insignificant, and weak beings. We have no control whatsoever over anything. Very, very small things, at least. But when it comes to birth, death, old age, and disease, natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, when we have no water or food anymore, we don't have control over these things. What do? How do we live? Transcendental literature is helping us understand this, not Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or any other author. What Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami here is doing the right thing. He's glorifying devotees first of all. He is doing kirtan, which writing is kirtan. And he is glorifying devotees. The amount of ecstasy he must have experienced when he wrote this book is unimaginable. Not only was he a pure devotee, but he was glorifying devotees at the same time. Have any of you glorified devotees before? You should try it. It's nice. I remember, can you please turn on flight mode? I remember I was in a temple, and it was the Vyasa Puja day of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And one of the devotees came up with a spontaneous idea. Let's just sit down and talk about Maharaj. And he started talking about pastimes of Radhanath Swami. And then all of a sudden the next one remembered something, aha, and then he started speaking. And then we just went in a circle like that. We went on like that for 1 hour. And just glorify Maharaj, whatever we came up with. I mean, after that hour, you felt so good. I was in a kind of a bad mood. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. But after that, everything just disappeared, like in thin air. No problems were on my mind anymore. I felt great inside. And this is the power of glorifying advanced Vaishnavas. You're not glorifying a mundane person who is famous for his skills in something, for his achievements, how big his business is, or how good it is at playing the guitar, or how well he directed the Christian Bale in the latest Batman movie. We're not glorifying these things. We're glorifying the person's qualities of being a Vaishnava, how he is serving the Lord and the Vaishnavas by his humility, tolerance, and how he has showed his tolerance and patience with others, and how he has faced the obstacles, and how he is dealing with relationships, how he is accepting austerities, how he is manifesting his humility. These are personal qualities which takes years of austerities and sacrifice to manifest. skills and knowledge is very quick to get. But changing your character, that takes time. And that takes commitment. And then when you find someone who's done that, that is remarkable. And when you meet such a person, you want to be with that person constantly because he's just so innocent, he's so pure. And so when you glorify such a person, then that makes an effect on you, proper effect. So this was a very strong experience for me. So, and now page after page, word by word, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami is just glorifying all these devotees who are just, there are many. Any of you who have read this chapter, you know, there are many. And the chapter before, he described the glories of the main branch, Lord Chaitanya, you know. So it's just going on. And the next chapter, my memory is so bad, but he's just continuing glorifying branch after branch. It's how blessed he is to have knowledge of these great souls whom he can glorify by all these words. And we can take part of it also. We can read what he has put down, and we can take part of his glorification and experience this. Will we experience the same bliss as him? Probably not, but if we continue with our practice, we will definitely get there. Without any doubt. If you just stick to the process, you'll get it. This is a guarantee. So this is easily Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami's ecstasy, we can read here. Not long ago, His Grace Agnidev Prabhu was here. You remember that very clearly. In a class, he said something very, very important. He mentioned 3 ways how we Vaishnavas can gain perfection. One of them was sadhana siddha. Anyone remember that one? Yes, practicing devotional service under the rules and regulations, sadhana siddha. And the next one was nitya siddha. Remember that one? Yes, by constantly remembering the Lord. Then you get perfection, and it's called nitya siddha. Then there was a third one. Yes. Krishna siddha, kripa siddha. By gaining perfection by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Oh, and this is an important one. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is bathing in the mercy of the Vaishnavas by glorifying them. So he was already perfected before this. He received the mercy to write this great book, so we can see he was already perfected. But it doesn't stop there. It's just continuing by his glorification here. So Krishna's Kripa Siddhi, that's what we live from. That's why we're here. That's why we're sitting here. By the Acharya's Kripa Siddhi, by Srila Prabhupada's Kripa Siddhi, we're sitting here. And by the sincere followers of Prabhupada, we're sitting here by their Kripa Siddhi. So we see, it's just Kripa Siddhi, everything. by the Kripa Siddhi, we get the sadhana Kripa, and we get the Nitya Siddha also. So the ways of perfection has been given by this Kripa Siddha. So what is our excuse to not glorify the Vaishnavas? The Vaishnavas before us and the Vaishnavas we have in front of us, and the Vaishnavas who will be. I'm speaking about the children who will take birth, who are taking birth by the Vaishnava families. So we celebrate Vaishnavas. So we have no excuse not to celebrate the Vaishnavas, taking care of them, respect them, learn how to serve them all the time to get their mercy. and especially on appearances and disappearance day. Vyasa Puja day. We have a calendar. We have a Vaishnava calendar which is full of appearance days and disappearance days of important personalities in our line. Now we have the Chaitanya tree, full of glorious devotees. We have Nityananda tree, full of glorious devotees. Sri Advaita tree, full of glorious devotees. Gadadhar Pandit, Shiva's Pandit. Oh, and then we have the branches of Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Goswami, Jiva Goswami, their branches. This is also mentioned in our calendar. So what do we do when these great personalities have a disappearance or appearance day? Nothing. Sometimes we do nothing. Now we had Sita Thakurani's appearance day. There was no plan to glorify her, what I know of. We cooked a little extra to glorify. So there was some Kripa Siddhi taking place there.
Akshayandapu also glorified her. Akshayandapu also glorified her.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. Yeah, okay. Very good. Very good. Okay, so there was something. Very good. So we must not take these days for granted. There should be mention of them. Something extra should be done for them on these days. When it comes to our closest acharyas, which we have on the altar, it should be Pushpanjali and proper songs and proper bhajans, like that. It should. Whether it's a disappearance or appearance day, we celebrate both of them. They are equally important. It must not be neglected. We must get their mercy always for us to advance, and those are proper days for us to pray for their mercy. You can remember them any day, but especially on these days, you can pray extra. You can think of them extra. Yeah, the calendar is full of so many of our glorious acharyas, and we should pray to them for the mercy. Prayer is a very powerful process. Akrura Prabhu gained perfection just by prayers. And the prayer is a amazing way to put yourself in a dependent, subservient position, which is our real position. And getting to that humble position can be difficult sometimes. But praying to them is helps very much to put you in a correct mood. So, yes, this chapter will be full of names, which we will read once and will probably forget, and that's fine. There are many names mentioned here, and I personally am very weak for names, but they are worth reading about, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will be referred to and his Anubhashya, where Prabhupada will help us see that the places where these great personalities still exist and can be found, even the railway stations are mentioned, as you probably know. It's amazing. It's like you can make your research into Gaudiya Vaishnava history and see how close all these amazing pastimes, how close they are to us. Actually, it's only 500 years ago. It might seem like much, but it's not. So anyone who has the the nature of doing research and like that, please go ahead and do research into this. And yeah, just find out. We have no idea. I mean, speaking about books, writing essays on and books on transcendental subject matters here mentioned by Prabhupada, we have no idea how many scriptures there are available which has not been translated into English. We have absolutely no idea. I don't have number of how many of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books have not been translated into English yet. Sure, his most prominent ones have been translated, but there's so much left. I don't have the numbers, but it's a great percent of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books which has not been translated, which is unknown to us. And the books which are available right now are already impressive. So, what is there more to read from this powerful Acharya? What to speak of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami. The Shad Goswamis, the six Goswamis. The books of the six Goswamis are the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And according to Dasmura Tattva by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the essence of the teachings of the six Goswamis. So the books of the six Goswamis are also available for anyone who wants to dive into them. Then we have the speaking of branches, you have books written by the Rupanugas. You have books written by the branch of Sanatana Goswami. You have books written by the branch of Gadadhar Pandit, of Srivas Pandit. There are so many books written on all the tattvas we have, whether it is Bhagavad Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Gopala Tattva, Gopi Tattva, all the tattvas. There's just so much to read, to study, and just let your intelligence and mind dive into, to help you forget this mundane world. And especially help you forget all the mundane literature you have dug into before you join. Me, not much. I didn't read much. I don't know about you. I remember my grandma bought me the 2 first books of Harry Potter, and I read them, and that was it. I read them mostly because my mother promised me to give me a game console if I would finish them, and I did. So I got it. I was happy, but I didn't continue reading them. No. Later, I started to read the books on philosophy. Yeah, that's where I found my bhav. It was in philosophical books. I didn't read much of that either, because quite quickly I got Bhagavad Gita. So I turned all my attention to Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's books just turned my life around. So I just couldn't read any of the other books. Like, they were tasteless. They had nothing more to give, and they have nothing more to give. Trust me. I tried to read a book of Aristoteles. You know Aristoteles? He's the most famous philosopher of ancient Greece. Yes, very famous, Aristoteles. He was one of those who he is the founding father of whole Western thinking. Aristoteles, yes. He was the disciple of Plato, who was a follower of Socrates. Then you see the parampara. Yeah. And so out of curiosity, because I learned that Aristoteles was one of the founding fathers of Western philosophy, I started to read. The name was 3 Books on the Soul. I read, it's a very small book, it's not thick, it's very, very small. I read 5 pages and I put the book away. because it was so dry. Oh, it was just so much speculation and so dry, it just became so bored so quickly. I couldn't deal with this anymore. It was terrible. And I never took up the book again. And later I learned, when you turn to Prabhupada's books, you learn that our minds cannot comprehend these dry philosophical books. And we have dry philosophical books in our line also. Vedanta, it's just philosophy. It's just logic, cause and effect we're working with. You just have to be interested in these things if you're going to appreciate it. That's the dry books are in our line also. But Vyasadeva he had the brains. He wrote the commentary, and then we got the philosophy and the stories. Genius, absolutely genius. How to get the attention of the minds of Kali Yuga who don't want dry philosophy, but who wants rasa. They want rasa. Yes, you combine the philosophy and stories, and then the mind gets something interesting to read. At the same time, the intelligence gets fed. Food for thought. Absolutely genius. So therefore, we get smarter by Srila Prabhupada's books. So there's a whole treasure of books in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line. We have no idea. What to speak of the Brahma Sampradaya branch of Madhavacharya. The great acharyas of Madhava Sampradaya are also there, for those who are interested in that. Now I'm speaking to those who are interested in doing research. Not everyone are interested. It's more for the studies people, Brahminical people. They will do this. The rest of us can just listen to their research when they have a seminar or when they sit in the Bhagavatam class. We can hear. Not everyone will be interested in doing research. It takes a time, and you just have to have a nature. But I'm just saying, anyone who is interested and is curious, ask your spiritual master if you can read this book, read that book, and deepen in yourself into these things, and become absorbed in whatever tattva our acharyas has given us. Read about the life of Vrindavan, help you forget about this material world. Prabhupada has said personally that we have to think negatively about this world, or else we will remain on the animal platform. He has said this in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, on the purport to verse 8 and 12. He has said this, because it's even the instruction of Krishna, to see the evil of repeated birth and death. In the purport, Prabhupada says that you have to think about it. Think pessimist. You have to have a pessimistic worldview of this material world. And he also said this in a class in front of a future Devamrita Swami, who was sitting there with his fiancée beside him. Prabhupada said that if one does not think pessimistically about this world, he is an animal. And Devamrita Swami was like, wow! Wow! It was the most amazing thing I has heard in front of his future, in front of his girlfriend. Yes, so this we must, and to read the books from the previous acharyas will help, definitely. If you have the basis of Srila Prabhupada's books, of course. Because you will not understand the books of the previous acharyas without the Prabhupada's books. But also by reading the acharyas' books, it will help you appreciate Prabhupada's books even more, because you will see where Prabhupada got everything. That everything is coming from something. So, if anyone is interested in writing his own books or essays on transcendental subject matter, it must be done for your own purification. Does it mean that whatever you write must be published? No, it must not be published. You can write it for yourself. And that is kirtan. It's a very powerful process. I've done it myself. I have experience. I had to stay at my mom's place for a long time. And there's nothing Krishna conscious in her home at all. So what I did, I started writing. I wrote on Varnashram Dharma. I did research, went through Bhagavatam. First canto, chapter about Parikshit Maharaj and Lord Krishna leaving, was it Hastinapur or Indraprastha? Hastinapur. Krishna leaving Hastinapur and Krishna entering Dwarka. I read those chapters. And the sixth canto, fourth canto, Prithu Maharaj. He has his speech. There also was chapter 22 or 21, if I'm not mistaken, where he is explaining Varnashram Dharma. Very powerful chapter. I did research on these chapters and started to write. And it was kirtan. And I felt strong in that environment. So I wholeheartedly recommend that if it is something you would like to do, start writing about something that inspires you. It could be a diary also. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote diary. Srila Prabhupada said Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote diary about his realizations, what he needs to work on, what he did right, what he did wrong. Powerful stuff. It works. So if you have the nature of writing, do it. It is kirtan. You will feel it. You will become strong. And whatever you write, whatever you put in words, it will manifest in your head. What you have read, what you're reading down will manifest. This is how it works. So, and do it for your own purification. And it is purifying. Write to the best of your ability, not for name, fame, and profit, and you will experience. And you will experience purification just like Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. And not become one of those Indologists. You know what Indologist is? I have a godbrother who is he studied in university, the same university Srila Prabhupada went to when he was in Sweden, Uppsala. It's this famous class where he went into a classroom full of Marxists and socialists and communists and started to speak about the glories of Varnashram and how you should divide the people into into divisions. It is that university. My godbrother went to that university and to study Sanskrit and other subject matters. And he did this for 2 years. Then he decided to drop off because he was so tired of the Indologists. The Indologists are the people, the academic people who just think they know everything about Sanskrit and the history of India. And so they change the ancient scriptures to fit modern thinking. Not thinking that their interpretation is also according to today's worldview. And so they have the freedom to destroy what is sacred and destroy what self-realized acharyas have written down. Because the 4 Vedas is written down in Samadhi. Our acharyas have explained that the 4 Vedas have been written down by self-realized souls. Vyasadeva also. and then they just decide to change things because it doesn't fit today's worldview. It's completely nonsense. So my godbrother just thought these people are idiots and their face should be kicked on with boots. Yeah, he literally let out his anger to me on Messenger. I still have the messages there. I can read them. They're all in Swedish, so I won't read them for you. But he was so frustrated and angry with them. So he quit. He finished his studies, but he decided not to continue. These Scientologists have no mercy whatsoever from any acharya. They're not following anything. They only know everything from surface level. As we know, the Upanishads are saying, Upanishads are for Vedas. Yasadeva pada bhakti yata devatata gro tasyati katata yarta prakashate mahatmana. That only by the mercy of the Supreme and the Guru can the subtle meanings of the Vedas be revealed. Only by their mercy. And these Scientologists, we have no idea what to do. We have no idea what habits they have. And they have the guts to just decide what these books are about. And then innumerable people from outside just coming to these Scientologists and just studying under these Scientologists become completely indoctrinated with their wrong understanding. And my godbrother just thought, why are these Scientologists not looking into what the Acharyas are saying? What Madhvacharya is saying, what Ramanujacharya is saying, what Nimbarka Acharya is saying, what Sridhar Swami is saying. Why are they not looking into this? They're just too proud. Just too proud to look into what our Acharyas are saying. And so their teachings are completely nonsense. And the ancient scriptures just becomes mundane. It just becomes completely destroyed. And that's even more dangerous. Prabhupada, our Acharyas is saying, that's even more dangerous than teaching mundane knowledge. It is this distorted Vedic knowledge that is even more dangerous, that is even worse. Even Buddhism is better, our Acharyas say, than misconstrued Vedic teachings. Then even Buddhism is better. That's why the teachings of Shankaracharya are so dangerous. Because it is the original teachings, but it is distorted. It is Gaunavritti. It's a great example. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is showing in the Dashmana Tattva. How was this verse? This is from Chandogya Upanishad. Shavalat Shyaman Prapadye. Yeah. No, it is Shavalat Shyaman Prapadye. Shavat Shaman Prapadye. That through the potency of Sham, I take shelter under his Hladini Shakti. And under the potency of Hladini Shakti, I surrender to Sham, which is Krishna. And this is pretty straightforward, but Shankaracharya has interpreted this verse that it means Brahmahitva, like inner Brahmanness. Inner Brahmanness. There is no Brahman there. This shloka does not mention in any inner Brahmanness. But somehow somehow with word salad and just twisting words, he's just making this work somehow. that this verse means inner Brahmanness. Because Shankaracharya is saying that in order to find the subtle, impersonal teachings of the Vedas, you have to take a different route. You cannot take the direct meaning. You have to go, a little here, a little there, from that perspective. I asked my godbrother about this, so I studied Sanskrit. I asked him about this. I turned to Bhagavad Gita and say, can you make Bhagavad Gita impersonal? He said, yeah, you can. But you just have to work so hard with twisting of words and meanings to get there. You have to work really hard. Then yes, you can get an impersonal interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita. So this is what the Mayavada teachings is. It's just word salad and strange interpretations to make it work somehow. And this is what Prabhupada is trying to say to us, that this is all there is. Prabhupada is so correct when he's saying that the Mayavada's teachings are just word salad. And that's why Chaitanya is saying that, who was it? Lord Chaitanya was speaking to, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Yes, Bhattacharya, I understood what you say when you read the Vedanta, but I don't understand your interpretation of it. It's just, yes, so this is where it's coming from. This is actually Lord Chaitanya. So our books are blessed by the acharyas. They are blessed, they are bona fide. Read them. Don't take to the mundane literature. There might be some mundane wisdom here and there, blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't go through the trash to find some gold in there. Oh, maybe you would, but you don't go through mundane literature to find some wisdom there. Whatever, if you need mundane wisdom, go to the Nitis. Go to the Dharma Shastra, go to the Vidura Niti, Chanakya Pandit. There you have it. You don't need to go further. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I went overboard. Are there any questions or comments?
In ISKCON also, there are so many books.
Yeah.
Like, really so many books.
Yes.
Or really so many topics.
Great.
How to have the balance?
I have to, prioritize. But also, I would say, ask those who have done thematic study of Prabhupada's books and previous acharyas. Those who have gone to Bhaktivedanta Academy, those who studied Vedanta Institute, Mayapur Academy, like that. Those, I'm not talking about those who have done Bhakti Shastra course for 3 months or Bhakti Vaibhav for 6 months. No, I'm talking about those who have studied for 12 years at least. Speak to them, ask them what is relevant, what is important to know, and they will tell you, this is what you should read, this is what you should read, this is what you should read. Yes, there are so many books available, which is proper. We are a sampradaya of books. The Ramanujacharya wrote books, Madhavacharya wrote books. Acharyas wrote books. This is a book sampradaya. So we read, we study. This is what we do. We chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then we study, we read books. And so, also depending what you're leaning towards. Some people are very much into Tattva. Tattva is important. Bhagavad Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Guru Tattva, very important. Rasa Tattva, yeah, but maybe later, when you have matured. Then maybe Rasa Tattva, Gopi Tattva, Gopa Tattva, and the relationships in Vrindavan. We should read these things. but by the blessing of the spiritual master, of course, because it takes maturity. But it's nothing wrong to be curious into these things. There's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy. You should be curious about these things. If you're curious about any of our tattva, great, because then your mind is hungry for these things, and it keeps you away from less important things. So to answer your question, ask those who are knowledgeable. They will tell you this is important, this is less important. They can also tell you which author you should read, because we have many authors in ISKCON who also wrote translations and commentaries on the same books. So you can also ask them what they prefer. Some prefer, when it comes to this book, they prefer this author. When it comes to this book, they prefer this author. So that would be my advice. I have my list of books which has been recommended to me, and I try to follow that. So you should do the same. Very nice. Yes, any other question? Jai Grantaraj, Bhagavatam Ki. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki also. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Guru Parampara Ki. Sadhu Sangha Ki.
Tanu Prabhu ki.
Hare Krishna.